Hopefully this is enough to make up for the last 3 years. Happy Marchintosh, everybody. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Tech House, where today we have a bit of a special video. So, here's the context. The official Marchintosh account on Twitter decided they would find my old tweet from 2021, and they replied to it saying it's been 2 years, make a video. It's actually been 3 years since they started this, but oh well. So, I was originally going to make a bit more of an informative video about the history of Apple's all-in-ones in general. Then I realized that'd be too time-consuming, and, well, that would take me a lot more than a month to make, or at this point, till about 2 weeks. So, we're doing this instead. This is one of the machines I actually bought for that video. This is an old iMac G4. I'm sure you've guessed what machine it was by now, because the iMac G4 is a pretty unique machine. Of course, this isn't a history video. There's 100,000 of those already. Nor is this going to be like my typical videos, because, well, if this was like my typical videos, it wouldn't be much of a special occasion, would it? So here's the deal. This is... well, I'm sure it's an indicator of what we're getting into. This is an iMac G4 from 2002 running OS X Tiger. I'm sure you guessed that by now by the Apple up here, but there you go. OS 10.4.11. Now, under normal circumstances, this machine wouldn't be that unique. I mean, it has this really fun quirk where you hit the eject button and you can't put a disk in because as soon as it hits the edge, it immediately retracts back into the computer, which is kind of fun, but not really, because then you can't put a disk in, so you have to like hold it to put a disk in. That's not what this video is about. This video is about everything else, and this is going to be a pain in the ass because I'm using an old Apple Puck mouse that came with my G3, and yeah, I don't know how many times I've said it in this video, but here's the deal. So let's click on Macintosh HD here. There's a really cool trick where you hold the control button and it acts as a right click. Or you could plug in like a good mouse that doesn't suck. Now see, the capacity here is 55.9 gig. This is a 60 gig drive, right? The amount of space available is significantly less than that. Now look at the user account name. Bonus, you know, I already tested this system, so I've only gone on a very surface level investigation of what's on here. Now, when I originally got this system, it had a password on it, and I didn't know what the password was. Had a little thing taped to it, and I thought that was the password, and surprise, surprise, it wasn't the fucking password. So I had to actually I booted this in target disk mode to burn a disk, since it actually has a DVD burner in it. So I burned a Tiger disk using that. Booted it into that, which took for fucking ever. What? I thought I'd changed the password. I did change the password to absolutely nothing. Oh well. I'd love to know why it came up with a password box, but who cares? Anyways, yeah, that is not Superstar 64 there. It's gonna boot Classic again. We're not gonna let it boot Classic. We're gonna do this instead. So we're going to explore the hard drive today. And the first thing we're going to do, instead of, no, stop. I don't want Classic to start. Stop. Alright, whatever. So instead of letting Classic start, since this iMac is actually the 2002 model, this will boot natively into Mac OS 9. When they shipped these, this came with either OS 10.1 or 10.2, and it was set with a dual boot configuration with OS 9.2.2. Came out around the time. Well, I think the iMac... I hate this fucking mouse. I think that came out around the time that... The system came out around the time that they were trying to discontinue these. No, not these, but OS 9. So this is one of the last machines that can natively boot Mac OS 9. I think it only supports 9.2.2 as well. The eMac is also one of the last machines that will boot into OS 9, but something's funky with that, and I think it's because of the way I installed OS 10.4. It's really weird. It'll boot into OS 9, but it's a weird environment, probably because of Classic and all of that. But this was designed in such a way that it doesn't act all funky. It just boots into OS 9. Alright, this something fucked up with this mouse. I think it's because the ball is all dusty and shit. I wish I had the keyboard for my G3, but the problem is the keyboard quit working a while ago, so it's either in storage somewhere or in a landfill somewhere. Either way, I don't have it anymore. Alright, it's working kind of better now. It's a little more responsive. Okay, you know what we're gonna try instead? I have a trademark mouse here. Ink the puck mouse. I wish I could use a pro mouse, but unfortunately I don't have one that actually works. Now, the keyboard is an old it's a 2000 edition pro keyboard. Alright, here we go. This is working a lot better. Let's see. That's not working better. What the hell? So we are in macOS 9. This fucking... one of the interesting things on here is that this has a really old version of iTunes on it. Now, this has never been used before, apparently. Sure. Yeah, why not? It'll probably import the... Oh, it didn't import the OS X library. Or maybe it will. I don't know. Well, once it's done with this, I'm sure you can also guess that I enabled the platinum sounds, which is... It's one of the things I always like to do with old OS 8 and OS 9 machines. As well as I have the temple sound set. Oh, you're pissing me off. Oh, fuck you. This video just devolved into a bunch of bullshit already. Fucking hell. Okay, apparently I have the cable buried in this desk thing. So, I have two Pro mice over here. I can't pick up the other one because it's like stuck in the fucking... I'm gonna rip the cable out of it if I keep trying to pull it, but... Let me just show you what I mean with the puck mouse, not the puck mouse, the Pro mouse over here. Oh wow. That's even worse than I thought. Oh, wow, shit. It's even worse than I thought. This one must be the one that just that doesn't even work. Yeah. I swear to God, it's plugged in. It's CL laser now. It's apparently, it must be the cable on these old ones. So we're gonna go back to the fucking torture. That's the puck mouse, since it's the only one of these fucking things that works. It's clearly finding all kinds of things that I didn't expect. You can already see some music on here. We have 1 Week by Bare Naked Ladies, Fire of Love. I don't listen to any of these, but you know, even if I wanted to, all these would get me content matched in 5 seconds. So we're not gonna play any of these. I don't want to just let this sit and see how long it's gonna take. Alright, well I gave the ball cleaning with alcohol and it's still adding shit to OS 9 iTunes. I just want to see what version this is, dog. That's taking forever. Let's stop that for now. Oh boy. Yeah, it was adding everything. What the hell? It has the old iOS things. Well, I don't know what that's all about, but it's got a bunch of sound effects in here now, too. Of course, I wouldn't want to use this much anyway. iTunes. I forgot about that. Why can't I use the volume keys? Anyways, iTunes version 2.0.3 from 2001. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to quit out of that. I mean, it does have a bunch of MP3s on OS 9. And I have to wonder if that came from Mr. Martin, who... okay, on OS 9, I changed the account name. but you actually can't see that because I disabled multiple users because this thing doesn't work without multiple users for some reason. Very odd. Not sure about that one. Anyways, macOS 9.2.2, 1 gig of RAM with a G4, which is not telling me, but you know, yeah, hold about panel. There's a disc icon here with Harry Potter, but I don't have the disc for Harry Potter OS 9 edition, so you can't play Harry Potter OS 9 edition. Or can you play Harry Potter OS 10 edition, because I don't have the disc either. We have iMovie here. I think this might be iMovie 2. Pretty cool. Let's see if there's any projects on here. I doubt there is, but we have QuickTime Player, which I don't have anything to play on QuickTime, but in order to function properly, QuickTime needs to know your connection speed to the internet. I don't have an internet connection. This doesn't have an airport card, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, it would have been the original one, which doesn't work with the modern networks. So this is interesting. This also appears to be one of those QuickTime versions that has an OS 10 skin, but is meant for OS 9. You can tell because of the brushed metal, but you know, it looks more similar to, say, OS 10 like Puma or something. This is version 5.0.2. There's a lot of old software on here, but I think that's just because this is how it came. I'm convinced the guy that had this before me was the original owner of this computer, especially given his amazing packing skills that we're not going to talk about. We have Sherlock 2 here, which I can't do a whole lot with because I don't have internet connection. But that's OS 9 on an iMac G4, in case you wanted to see that. But a lot of the fun is to be had in OS 10. So we're going to reboot into that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the iTunes library, because I think there's a really funny occurrence in here. Now, this version is a lot newer than the one that was in OS 9. Keep that in mind. A little bonus, let's look at the dashboard here. We have, apparently they use this too. Now, I changed a couple things, but look, there's even this shit. Anyway, there's actually different things on, ooh, Christmas lights. I haven't seen that one before. It's literally a Christmas light. There's quick entry. There's alerts, because for some reason I thought it was a good idea to install antivirus on a Mac. Okay, this is kind of really funny. I like this. It's supposed to go in the middle. You can make them all white too. I always preferred my colored lights. I know it's not Christmas anymore, but this is too much fun to mess with. Chase. Okay, that's neat. Anyway. Okay, yeah, I know the time reset on here. So I arranged this in order from an alphabetical order for artists. But you know, if you end up scrolling through here, and of course you can't really listen to any of this on video because, you know, it has there's this really cool thing called content match. Look, we got Biggie Smalls here twice for some reason. And that's how a lot of them are. Scroll down. There's this has Crank That Soulja Boy on it. And it has it multiple times. Except I think at least one of these is the original version from, you know, when he released it himself. The one that sounds like it was recorded on a fucking laptop. Another one of the funny occurrences I noticed. Look at all these playlists. And one of them is called Cha Cha Slide. And guess what it is? Can't play more than 5 seconds or I get content matched. Yeah, it's the Cha Cha Slide in its own fucking playlist for some reason, which is hilarious. Oh, this has been played 27 times. Hold on, I can probably find that up in the music library. Is there a way to sort by plays? Like a Spotify or some shit? Oh, hey, we got a 5-star rating here. Play count. I was hoping highest first. Tranquilized by the Killers. Okay, interesting. Where is love? I thought that was what is love for a moment. Yeah, pretty cool. What's the internet marketing class? Let's look at that real quick. Mac version landing page. All right, it's opening Firefox. Now this shit I remember back in elementary school because... So I was in elementary school over 10 years ago now. Okay, the library had an iMac G4, but what the kids were using, we were using iMacs, which were... I did a video on that too, but they're kind of like this, except they're basically an iMac G3 type machine with G4 hardware in it. And a bigger screen, and it's also all white. And those they ran for the longest time. They were the 2005 model. I have the install disc, that's why I used to get Tiger on that machine. Turns out that was the 2005 model. But one of the things I remember is that they were still using the old Firefox, and wow, look at how fucking slow that loaded. Let me look this up, because it was certainly more powerful than this machine. Okay, that would have been a 1.42 gigahertz G4 in those ones. Now I think I showed the spec sheet. Well, I didn't show the system profiler, but on the about page it says 800 megahertz for this machine. Because this is a 2002 model. My eMac is also an 800 megahertz, but that only has 384 megs of RAM. And I have no idea how that thing ever ran Leopard. Only for a limited time. Plus, get a free membership to my Insiders Club where you get over 40 weeks of tips, tricks, and more. Marketing makeover at miracles.com. Let's see if that's still a thing. Damn it. It's not a thing anymore. Fuck. P.S. When the new book is being released, I'll let you know. I should probably censor that stuff too. I don't know if I think this is a business, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. One Stop Copyright. OneStopCopywriting.com. Now, of course, it's not going to load that because there's no internet connection whatsoever. Although it is kind of fun seeing this old version of Firefox still load anything. What version is this? Firefox 353, 2009. Okay. Now, if I had one of my newer G4 systems, I would probably hook this up to the internet just to see if I can do anything with it. Although, if you're going to run an old G4 or a G5 online, 10.4 Fox is dead, actually. I almost forgot to mention that. 10.4 Fox is gone. Interweb PowerPC is the new browser. It's basically old 10.4 Fox, but it's still getting updates and probably new features and all that, which is pretty neat. But as for this isn't going to load anything, so none of these bookmarks are going to help me at all. Let's see the history. Do I want to know what was in here? Show all history. It's probably just going to show me what I did today. Or is it going to show me anything? Google.com. Interesting, it's got the new Google logo. What the hell? 2017? What the fuck? There's no way. There's no way someone tried to use this in 2017. That's weird. I can't get the browsing history on this, which is weird. Unless I can, but it just keeps pulling up the library, so can't really do much with that. Haven't found any private folders yet. NEMA loan, military loan services.doc. Now, opening in script editor. I thought that, okay, this has Microsoft Office on it. It's got Word, Entourage, and PowerPoint down in the little bar here. Yeah, clearly not. Okay, this isn't script editor though. This is supposed to be like a fucking, yeah, open it in Word. Apparently it has AppleWorks on it too. Okay, Word for Mac version 2004. Pretty cool. I remember the teachers used to use this when we had Macs in our school. Except the Macs the teachers use, all the laptops we had, we didn't have any iBooks. We had, I think, probably 2007 MacBooks. But the reason our school used to be all Mac is because, you know, in the PowerPC days and the early Intel days, Apple had really good education discounts for their systems. So, you know, you're a school and you buy a bulk lot of Apple systems and they give you a pretty steep discount. Well, probably. I heard they even used to give you a free iPod if you bought something with if you bought something from the education site, but yeah. One interesting thing is that this isn't even Mac. I honestly forgot what I was looking at. I'm gonna close that. Yeah, military loan sources 07, 18, 09. So it's either, I think it's 2009, probably. It's either September of 2007 or July of 2009. I'm guessing 2009 though. I'm gonna expand this picture. Okay, that's Windows XP. So this appears to just be a bunch of screenshots. God, Windows XP. Well, it's either that or this is like, or someone converted a web page. What the hell? I can't read any of that. I'm a little too far. Don't save. Interesting that's in a specific folder for some reason. Insurance kit. The alias is gone, so of course this is going to open in iTunes. I think I already added this to the iTunes library. Transmission. I believe this is a program for opening torrents, which I can imagine makes sense when you pop up in Finder here, and for some reason all of the shortcuts here are gone that would actually be any fucking use. So I'm gonna close that. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 CDI. Dude is running emulators on this thing. I don't know if I can open that. Right. Oh yeah, applications. There we go. What the hell am I looking at? Okay, Macintosh HD. That'd be more helpful. So yeah, applications folder. Here's why transmission makes more sense. I didn't want to open that, but here's an old iPod ripping software. Now, I have iPods, but I'm not going to use them with this system because this is not my iTunes library and this is not what I listen to. Remind me later. But it's new enough to know what an iPhone is, which is interesting. 2008, so this would have been around the iPhone 3G days. Interesting. Would be willing to try this with an iPod maybe, but I'd have to run this on a different system. I could try it with the iMac. This is taking a long time. Okay. Go back to Finder. I hope I can load multiple things at once on here. It has Windows Media Player on it for some reason, even though QuickTime does it better. You know, I've watched BFDI on a PowerPC before. Kind of funny how that works. See where I say transmission makes a lot more sense? Looky what we got here. Now, for the kiddos that have no idea what the hell this is, let me explain what this is. So, before the days of Spotify, this was during the iTunes days, but actually before all of that, little application came out in the very late 90s called Napster. And what Napster allowed you to do was take music from other people's computers and download it to your computer. So basically, music piracy. And the music industry absolutely hated shit like this. So Napster got shut down in 2001, I think. LimeWire came out, 2000. This is a 2008 version. I think LimeWire managed to stick it out all the way to 2010 before they got shut down. One of the interesting things about like Soulja Boy is that he would crank that Soulja Boy or some other song of his, and he would rename the file to whatever hit song was out at the time, and then post it on there. So people would download his song thinking that it was something else, and things like that happened all the time on LimeWire. Apparently, Martin here didn't spring to upgrade to LimeWire Pro, even though you can get LimeWire Pro with LimeWire. Turbocharged downloads. Get LimeWire Pro. We guarantee you that you'll love the improved performance of Pro. Thank you for help keeping the internet open by running LimeWire. I can't do a whole lot with this anymore. Did you know, once you share a file on your desktop with LimeWire, simply drag the file or folder from your desktop to LimeWire library. Select individually shared files to see your newly shared file in the library. So you can, there's that Marvel vs. Capcom torrent again. I wonder, is there emulators on this machine? I'm not sure. Is there anything? Library, that's what I want to see. Shared files. What did you share? I just shared that Marvel vs. Capcom again. They had a store? What the hell? I thought this was for free shit. Saved files. Documents. Because I think I can at least retrieve this. Audio. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I think the computer's having a mental breakdown. Let's try to close script editor. That doesn't need to be open anymore. Transmission. That doesn't need to be open. So it should run a little bit. Never finished converting that thing thing. Interesting, I can't find any saved things on here. But, okay, so I was wrong about LimeWire. Apparently they used it to share all kinds of things. Probably a whole lot of porn. Here's M4P converter. I'm not sure what this does. This is also from 2008. Mac M4P converter has installed a virtual CD burner on your system. To convert songs to iTunes, you only need to burn a playlist with those songs into this virtual device. That's okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna buy it. It's a little old for that. I can eject the CD. I didn't know you could do that with a Mac. So I have Microsoft Office, mouse, keyboard, and auto update, as well as MSN Messenger 2003. This is actually before Tired even came out. This is probably, it was either in the Jaguar or the Panther days. I'm sure you can tell up here. This actually had a, this was originally running on a hardwired connection because they didn't install an airport card. Click here to sign in. Martin Love X 2000 MSN. Okay, forget I said that. We're not going to sign in MSN Messenger, actually. We have Norton Antivirus. That's neat receipts. What's this all about? Oh, fun. No. God, I love looking at this old shit. What does neat receipts do, though? That's what I want to know. It's running super slow. Probably because the hard drive's almost full. I guess we'll never know what neat receipts does. Oh yeah, this person also enabled the thing where it reads the timeout. It loaded. Well, anyway, this did come from New York, by the way. Should mention that. Okay, it announces the time on the hour, and it's got this, this voice. I always like to go with the Bell's voice. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not even gonna pretend to know what this does. What version is this? Version 1.0.0. Okay, so that's fun. Look at all these cool people here that made this program. We stand on the shoulders of giants. Our thanks to these excellent coders who have made their work freely available for inclusion in any project. Aww. In memory of Kira. Well, rest in peace, Kira. Hope your name is remembered for generations. iMac SuperDrive update. Well, I assume this does have a SuperDrive since it's got a DVD burner in it. i386. Why is i386 in here? Cause this ain't Windows, dog. HP. I think those the HP drivers for a printer. I think, yeah, Harry Potter's there. Like I said, you can't. Wait, hold on. Well, this does have Flash player support. I could theoretically load up htwins.net on here and play Get to the Top, although there is no top. I don't know if it'd work with that, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, I would try Harry Potter. We already did that. They don't have the CD for it and just asked for that. Google SketchUp 6. Here's GarageBand. Now, what I did find in the iTunes library is that this dude actually tried making beats. So let's listen to one of his beats. See if he can be the next Metro Boomin. Of course, it takes forever to load. GarageBand 08. That's a newer version than I thought it would be. Open an existing project. Can we find projects on here? Okay, I don't see the actual project files on here. Maybe they're just gone. Okay, let's go back to iTunes and see these beats. I just want to hear something, okay? See if I fuck up the speakers or not. Because I should mention that I'm sure you've also guessed at this point. This computer came with the old Apple Pro speakers, which were made by Harman and Kardon. Same people who made the ones in the iMac G3. And I think they pretty much put these ones into the eMac, which is why that system sounds so good. They also released these originated with the G4 Cube, which was a USB version, before they went to this version, which has a proprietary connector that only works with the iMac G4 and the digital audio PowerMac G4. So I have a 2000 model G4 tower. Unfortunately, won't work with those because it doesn't have the connector. It's the model after this that would. Mine's a dual processor one. And I think they kept that port throughout the G4 days. When the iMac G5 came out, they ditched the Pro speakers They ditched the Pro speakers before that probably, but the iMac G5 just had a 12 watt amp in it. its own speakers. I don't know who made those, but they sound alright as well. So let's sort from alphabetical order again for artists. That's too far. Get Michael Jackson on here. Get content match for that. Alright, CD1. See this one. It's the same thing. Well, I can see some musical talent there. It's actually not the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Although I imagine it's not the most original thing in the world. Still, yeah, that's what you get from playing around with GarageBand 08. So that's just a taste of what's on this iMac's hard drive. I obviously didn't go through everything, but I think what we saw today was kind of fun. And I like doing this kind of thing. You know, not to steal people's information, but to kind of get a story of how this thing ended up in my hands. Thank you all so much for watching this, and I will see you in the night sky. And happy Marcintosh, everybody. There we go. Oh, what the hell. One more round to crank that Soulja Boy.